2.5 miles of Addison separate these two schools. Game number 2 of the 2021-2022 Red Northwest Conference play. Lane Tech and Schurz, the Schurz Bulldogs, looking for their first conference win of the year and their conference home opener, while Lane Tech still riding high after an upset victory over North Lawndale to start conference play on Wednesday afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alex Burstein, above the court here at Schurz Gymnasium for some Friday night hoops. Should be a fun one between Lane Tech and Schurz. Lane Tech looking for their second win against Schurz this calendar year. Not something you see often. However, they had, obviously with the weird season last year. 1 second, folks. We're going to try to get our video going better here. Just move our hotspot around a little bit. We'll be back in just a second. Just under 5 minutes to go until tip-off here. Okay, looks like we should be good to go with our video stream for the rest of tonight. Just over 4 minutes, until tip-off here at Schurz Gymnasium for what should be a fun one between Lane Tech and Schurz. It has been a hot start to the year for Lane Tech, 7-1. Going off of max reps, you're not going to find a better start for Lane Tech in the last 15 years. That's as far as the records go. 2005, 2006, they started the year 6-1 and then lost. And they have not had a better start since then. So this Lane Tech team, really exciting stuff for them. They're looking at 15, 20-win season, and possibly, as they already have 7 wins just under a month into the season. Schurz, meanwhile, they've had a rougher start to the year. They come into tonight's matchup with a 1-5 record. Started off the season going 0-4 in the Grant Thanksgiving tournament. They got their first win of the season against Intrinsync, I think last week, and then they played undefeated Lincoln Park on Wednesday. That was a 77-58 loss. So big loss for the Bulldogs there, and Lane Tech will be hoping to take advantage of what is expected to be a win for them tonight. However, anything can happen, and that's what we saw Wednesday night. Lane Tech entered probably as the underdog, you could say, against North Lawndale. They were trailing big at the half by 13, turned it around in the second half. 5-point win for Lane Tech as they started off conference play 1-0 for the first time in 4 years. Lane Tech will hope to use what they saw in the second half in that game tonight against Schurz. 2 main keys for this Lane Tech team, and they're pretty basic ones, but it's just how Lane Tech is going to go after them. First off is their defense. They went from man-to-man to start the game. North Lawndale was really able to get a lot of shots up, a lot of threes. They scored 35 or something in the first half. Really good offense for the Phoenix. And then second half, Lane Tech switches to more of a zone, and they were just able to keep the Phoenix from scoring at all. That eventually led to the Lane Tech win. So I don't know if it's going to be man-to-man or zone tonight, but just adjusting their defense to however it needs to be. They've shown this season they can play both man-to-man and they can play zone. This has been a Lane Tech team that's been reluctant to go in the zone the last couple of years. So seeing how they play with the man-to-man or zone tonight is going to be interesting. The other key for Lane Tech is going to be the three-point ball. And obviously not sure if this is going to be a super close game tonight or not. However, Lane Tech is really going to need to hone in on that three ball heading into the rest of the season. They're going to play some teams that really like to score the basketball, and how they're going to stay in these games is going to be with the three ball. So really important for Lane Tech tonight to get that scoring going. It was the backcourt of Ethan Grunebaum and Sean Malloy who were the stars on Wednesday night. They combined for 37 points. I believe career highs for both of them. 20 for Sean Malloy, 17 for Ethan Grunebaum. Grunebaum just came alive in the second half. I think he had 12 in the second half. Malloy had double digits in the second half. Really impressive stuff from both of them. Malloy's been the leader of this team. Grunebaum struggled a little bit out of the gate, but since then he has been on fire. And he's going to hope to continue that tonight against the Bulldogs. Who we're really keeping an eye on for Schurz tonight is number 21, Tyshawn Jones, the 6'2" junior forward, Last year he had 16 against Lane as a sophomore. He's a big contributor for the sophomore team, for the varsity team as a sophomore, and he'll be hoping to repeat that tonight. He gets to start tonight along with Ethan Arroyo, Jagrante Abraham, Deshaun Knighton, and Monier Bell. Those are your 5 for Schurz tonight. I think we're going to maybe do the national anthem. We'll get you that in a second. But first, oh no national anthem. They're going straight into the starting lineup. So we'll get you those once again. Starting off with Lane Tech, it's going to be number 1, Sean Malloy getting to start. Number 2, Jack Shore, the 6'3" junior. He's been in the starting lineup all year. Number 5, Ethan Grunebaum getting to start. Number 22, Shahid Solibo. And number 24, Lucas Basil. Those will be your 5 taking the court for Lane Tech to start the year. To start the season. And those have been the 5 for the past 2 weeks for Lane Tech. They've really established themselves as the core 5 for Lane Tech this year. And as we mentioned, for the Schurz Bulldog, they're going with number 1, number 2, and number 3. Number 1, Monier Bell. Number 2, Deshaun Knighton. And number 3, Jagrante Abraham will all get the start tonight. Those all 3 are juniors. Number 15, Ethan Arroyo, also a junior getting to start. And as you guessed it, number 21, Tyshawn Jones, also a junior getting to start. So an all-junior starting lineup for Schurz tonight. They're a young team. It's shown in some struggles early on tonight, but they're hoping they can click as Red West North Conference play gets underway. Lane Tech has a mixed lineup. They have 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore. So the starting lineup will look different next year. However, they'll have at least 2 returners from this starting lineup. So Lane Tech hoping to build a foundation through this strong start this year. 8 minutes on the clock after the starting lineups get finished on the clock. We will have action here at Schurz Gymnasium. Friday night hoops is chilly and rainy outside, but beautiful inside this gymnasium. Really interesting gymnasium. As you can see, there's no seating. There's very little seating on the sidelines, but there's a balcony over there, and we're standing on the balcony over on the other side of the court. So definitely one of the stranger gyms I've been in broadcasting basketball, but just about time for tip-off. It's going to be number 24, Lucas Basil, listed at 6'4", and number 1, Monier Bell, listed at 6'5" in the center. Basil listed at 6'6", and looks like those are both right. Basil a little bit taller, but Bell will try to win the tip despite the height disadvantage. Bell, a 2-sport athlete, also the quarterback for the Schurz team, so he's had a busy couple of months, and we're underway here at Schurz Gymnasium. Lane Tech wins the tip, and Ethan Grunebaum will start things off for Lane Tech. Gets inside to Malloy, and Malloy has 2 quick points tonight. 2-0, Lane Tech leads, 7:50 to go in quarter number 1. Apologies for the little bit of an awkward view tonight, folks. We're going long instead of wide because it would not have been a good camera angle from the sidelines, but still should be able to see the whole court as Abraham drives on the right side. He gets fouled, and the ball will be under the basket for the Bulldogs. Abraham, a transfer from Taft. He's been one of the top guys for this Schurz team this year, and he will inbound things for the Bulldogs and get it quickly into Jones. Jones out to Arroyo, and they'll reset things with number 2, Deshaun Knighton, near midcourt. 40 seconds into this one, 2-0. Lane Tech leads after a quick Malloy basket to start things off. Knighton with it, finally hands it off. And foul's going to be called on number, looked like he showed a 5, must have been number 15, Ethan Arroyo, I'm going to say, and that will be the first team foul for Schurz. Lane Tech already had 1, so 1-1 in fouls a minute into this contest. Lane Tech with a 2-0 lead, looking to grow that here. Grunebaum to Basil. Basil playing on the perimeter like he has most of this year. Solibo drives in, dishes it out to Grunebaum. Grunebaum's been a better shooter as of recent, but gives it to Malloy. Malloy stuffed by the rim, and Schurz will push it on the other end through Arroyo, who goes up for the crazy layup. Can't get it, rebounded by Grunebaum. Lane Tech really likes to play off the fast break. They can't do that here. Grunebaum goes behind his back, pulls for 3, no good. Some missed shots for Lane Tech early on tonight. They're 1 for 3 from the field. 2-0 lead for them, and 90 seconds into the contest. Knighton will slow things down for the Bulldogs on the other side of things. Lane Tech in a man-to-man looks like to start things off tonight. As Arroyo gets it, being guarded by Grunebaum. They give it inside. Bell with it, back outside. Slow pace for the Bulldogs. They're in no hurry, just trailing by 2 minutes into the contest. Alex Burston on the call here from Schurz Gymnasium. Abraham with it. Gives it inside to Bell. Bell with a little bit of a height advantage. Turns around, goes up for 2. He's got it. And the Bulldogs are on the scoreboard for the first time tonight. 2-2 the score. 5:40 and counting to go in quarter number 1. Grunenbaum gets it to Malloy. Basil's going to drive in on the right-hand side of things. Turns around, goes up for 2. He's got it. Lucas Basil with his first 2 points of the night and is a 4-2 Lane Tech lead with 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Knighton with it. Schurz doing a good job of getting everyone touches tonight as the 3 from Jones, no good, rebounded by Basil, who pushes it to Solibo. Solibo really likes to drive, take it coast to coast. He does that right here, not able to finish though, rebounded by Bell. And Schurz gets the basketball back with a chance to tie it here. 4-2 the score. Knighton with it, the junior point guard. As we mentioned, all 5 guys on the court for the Bulldogs are juniors. As Grunenbaum will tip the ball away, but Schurz will keep possession. Schurz won their 2 games ago. They lost on Wednesday night, so hoping to get back on the right track during tonight's game. It'll be Knighton bringing the ball up the court from the backcourt for the Bulldogs. Cheerleaders on the sideline on the baseline for sure. It's not a super big crowd on this Friday night, but some fans coming out, and a foul, offensive foul, second of the game called on Schurz, and a timeout's going to be called for Lane Tech. Did not see if it's 30 seconds or a full timeout, but that will be the first timeout taken tonight. 4-2, Lane Tech leads over Schurz. It's been cold shooting for both teams so far. This is a trend we've seen really all year long. Lane Tech has not shot well out of the gate, and then they've turned it around sometimes in the 3rd quarter, the 4th quarter. We'll see how they do tonight, but they're going to want to turn that around soon. 4-2 the lead over Schurz. When these 2 teams met in March, it was a big win for Lane Tech, not a super big win. Coming in, you thought it would be a bigger win for Lane Tech. However, it ended up 56-44. Grunenbaum was the top returning scorer for Lane Tech. Aaron McQueen, who many of you may remember, had 20, but Grunenbaum had 13 in one of his better games last year. He's yet to score tonight, but he'll be hoping to get back in the scoring column soon. It'll be Lane Tech basketball out of the timeout. Jack Tsor inbounding things. He gets it to Grunenbaum. Grunenbaum, Tsor, Malloy, Basil, and Solibo, your 5 on the court for Lane Tech. Grunenbaum gets it to Tsor, quickly double team though. He can't get a pass off, and he'll dribble instead. Now triple team, they find open Basil, who goes up for 2, and Basil will head to the line to shoot 2. Basil's been up and down free throw shooter this year, probably shooting a little over 50%, not terrible, but he'll hope to improve that here as he gets 2 shots at the line with 4:20 to go in quarter number 1 of action. First free throw, no good, off the front of the rim. Basil scored 22. He had a double-double to open the season against Jones. Earlier this week, he had 12 against Steinmetz. That was his best game since the Jones one. So heating up as of recent, and he'll make the free throw. They get the 3 points today. 5-2 the score with 4:20 to go. Lane Tech enacting their full court press. It's worked on and off against teams this year, but Schurz able to break it. They get down low to Arroyo, who can't finish, and rebounded by Solibo. Bounced off of Solibo, then off of Basil, and Solibo ends up with it. Solibo trying to drive, gets a long pass to Grunenbaum, who somehow keeps it. Now Malloy will slow things down. Grunenbaum gets into the perimeter, back out to Basil. 3:50 to go here in quarter number 1. Solibo with it, drives in, goes up for the basket, and he's got it. That was a very clean motion. There was 3 Schurz guys around it, but no one really went in to block, and Solibo gets his first 2 points of the night. 7-2 the score. Lane Tech opening up a little lead here by 5 with 3:30 to go in quarter number 1. For context, I think 5 was the biggest lead of the game for Lane Tech on North Lawndale, so a lot hotter of a start tonight against the Bulldogs. 3 no good, rebounded by Tsor, who gets his first rebound of the night, and he'll push it quickly to Malloy. Malloy goes up for two, and they're going to call a travel. It took one extra step there. Malloy not happy with the call, and we'll have the first two subs into the game for Lane Tech and one into the game for Schurz. That's going to be for Schurz. I think Shane Miller, the 5'11 junior guard, is going to come in, and Steven Goonan and Will Rosenkrantz will check in for Lane Tech. However, first a Maps timeout under 4 minutes. First dead ball in all quarters due to IHSA rules. Nice Lane Tech transition into their offense the last couple of minutes. They were cold shooting for the first couple. It was 4-2, but they've scored a couple of baskets to get it up to 9-2, a 7-point lead with just over 3 minutes to go in quarter number one. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Lane Gymnasium. Lane Tech will quite possibly face their toughest test of the season tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. against Oak Forest and Robbie Avila, one of the top players in the state. That's at Mount Carmel at the Team Rose Shootout. We won't have the call for that one, but should be a fun one if you can make it out to Mount Carmel. It'll be Schurz basketball out of the timeout. Inbounding it will be Abraham, who gets it into Arroyo. Arroyo almost goes out of bounds, but he'll take it to the other side. Slowing things down is Knighton. Knighton seems to probably be the most poised player with the basketball tonight for Schurz. Whenever he gets it, the team really seems to calm down and slow things down as they get it to Abraham on the far side. Lane Tech fans might be louder than the Schurz fans early on tonight, despite the home court advantage for the Bulldogs. Knighton with the basketball, long possession here for the Bulldogs. Hop step, he loses it, but he'll keep it on three, no good, rebounded by Lane Tech. Lane Tech has had a lot of turnovers in a couple of games so far this year. I think that was their second of the game so far, as Grunewald goes up for two, can't get it. And Jones will push things on the other side. Lucky for them, the Bulldogs were not able to score on it last time. We'll see if they can here. Knighton takes it back to midcourt. That seems to be his favorite spot to dribble. Under 2 minutes to go now here in quarter number one. 9-2, the Lane Tech lead by 7. Malloy on Knighton, the junior. They pass it off to the far side. Arroyo with it. That is Shane Miller into the game, number 11 now for Schurz, as they get it inside to Bell. Bell, who has the only 2 points tonight, is going to get called for an offensive foul. That is the third offensive foul tonight for Schurz. It's also their third foul tonight, so every single time they've fouled has been every single time they foul has been on the offensive side for Schurz. That's not what they want, especially falling behind with just 2 points scored almost 7 minutes into tonight's contest. Basil gets it to Malloy. Malloy, top the key. Rosenkrantz pulls for three, almost gets it, but Knighton will push things for the Bulldogs. Out to Bell. Bell fakes a three. Bell, tallest guy on the court for Schurz, second tallest guy overall, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Ethan Grunewald. That's something he struggled with, those type of fouls all year long, usually 1 or 2 a game. And he gets called for his first foul with a minute left in the first quarter. Joseph Perona and Parker Springer will check into the game for Basil and Grunewald. Springer and Perona both get pretty quality minutes for this Lane Tech team. Lane Tech has about 10 players who play like the whole game, and then the end of their bench doesn't get much, as Arroyo with the acrobatic finish, he gets 2 to go. And Schurz is on the scoreboard for the first time in a while. Rosenkrantz wide open, thinks about the three instead, drives, tries to pass it out to Malloy, but Knighton will get the steal. Knighton dribbles past 3 guys. He's been impressive early on tonight. Knighton takes things, goes up for the 2, can't get it to go, rebounded by Rosenkrantz. Excuse me, by Goonan. Now they get to Rosenkrantz. Malloy double team. This defense very aggressive from Schurz early on tonight. Goonan pulls for 3, no good. That one rebounded by Schurz. They'll push things on the other side. Going in for 2. It's good by DeGrante Abraham, the Taft transfer, and Schurz has made this a 3-point lead. With a minute left, it was a 7-point lead for Lane Tech, and now it is a 3-point lead A foul called on Schurz, but the momentum obviously in the Bulldogs' favor. The clock was running a little longer than it was supposed to. 4.5 seconds on the clock, so Lane Tech is just going to have time to inbound it, maybe take a dribble or just hold it for a second before taking the shot. Inbounding it will be Stephen Goonan. Shane Miller defending it. They get the long pass to Malloy. They reset the clock to 9 seconds. Malloy drives in, misses it, rebounded by Springer, and he gets fouled. He'll head to the line to shoot a pair. Now 4 seconds to go in quarter number 1 as Springer will take a couple of free throws. Hasn't been a big scorer for Lane Tech this year, but he provides some height to this roster. And they're going to say that was not a shooting foul, actually. So Goonan's going to get the basketball under the basket. Springer thought he was shooting a pair. And apologies for the camera angle, folks, only being able to see a little bit of the inbound. There's just no great place to put the camera without some part of the court being blocked. They get to Rosenkrantz, who fires for 3, no good. Rebounded by Knighton, and that will be the end of quarter number 1. Lane Tech started strong, but a little bit of a comeback there by the end, at the end by Schurz. 9-6, your score at the end of 1. Lane Tech leads. We'll be back in just a second. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. 8 minutes through in this one, and we have a close one. 9-6, Lane Tech leading Schurz coming out of the quarter break. I believe it is going to be Schurz basketball. Yes, it'll be Schurz basketball. Lane Tech defending the same side of the court. It'll be Abraham inbounding things for the Bulldogs, and looks like Knighton will bring things up. Knighton been very impressive for Schurz to start the night. Into the game will be Malik Allen for Schurz, number 5, who you see running into the paint right now. They get it far side to Miller. Back to Knighton. Now back in the side to Miller. Miller pulls for 3, no good. That one bouncing around, they'll say it goes off of Schurz, and Lane Tech will get the basketball back. Lane Tech has not been able to score the basketball the last couple of times down the court. They just have not found ways to get good shots. They've had to take a couple of weird threes, gone into the perimeter, but not have found any good options for shots. So they're going to have to get a little more creative with their passing here as Malloy dishes it. The 2 by Goonan is good. Goonan gets his first 2 points of the night and the lead up to 5 for Lane Tech. Malloy almost with the steal, but he punches it out of bounds. Bulldogs will keep possession. Alex Burstein on the call here from Carl Schurz High School. Lane Tech looking to get to 8-1 on the year and 2-0 in conference play. This is going to be a very competitive conference this year. Also, just seeing who gets demoted is going to be very competitive. As Malloy gets a seal, gives it to Perona. Perona goes up for 2, and he has the easy lay-in. 4 quick points for Lane Tech, and they extend their lead up to 7, tied for their biggest today. On the other side of things, Allen goes up for 2. That's stripped, and Lane Tech will get possession. Goonan got triple teamed there, but finally gets it to Malloy. Same 5 on the court for Lane Tech. They get to Perona in the corner. He pulls for 3. No good. Springer tips it away, and Allen will not touch the ball, so Schurz will keep possession. 13-6 to score as Monier Bell checks into the game for Miller. Miller took a shot, did not make it, and now he'll head to the bench. But yeah, as we were saying, it's going to be a very competitive Red West-North conference this year, and 2 wins to start the season is going to be very important for positioning for Lane Tech. As this ball goes off of Rosenkrantz's leg, and Schurz will keep possession. This game definitely a little bit more competitive than the JV game that we saw at the start of the night, as Perona takes a turnover. He's going to go up for 2. He didn't get blocked there. I think he just slipped and had a weird angle, but Knighton will come up with the rebound. Almost looked like Lane Tech was shifting into a zone there, and it looks like they might be. So Lane Tech shifts into a zone here early on in quarter 2. As Arroyo gives it, Abraham for 3, he's got it. DeGrante Abraham scores a 3, and the lead back down to 4 for Lane Tech. Really back and forth game to start things off. As Grunewald goes up for 2, can't get it. Springer tried for the rebound, but Schurz will come up with it. Schurz is a slightly shorter team, but they've done a good job of rebounding this game so far. Lane Tech has not been a great rebounding team this year. They haven't been like terrible at it, but they have gone out rebounded a bunch of games. For example, in that Taft game, they had let one player have 17 rebounds on the Eagles. So not exactly the strong suit for this Lane Tech team. As Perona, nice passing here. Zanders pulls for 3, he's got it. Anthony Zanders into the game for Lane Tech. He has his first 3 of the night, and Lane Tech's lead 16-9 now with 5.5 to go in the quarter. Knighton with the basketball, trying to go coast to coast. Spins, goes for the short 2, rebounded by Bell. Bell just came down with that rebound very hard. They'll call it a jump ball possession arrow towards Lane Tech, and Lane Tech gets the basketball back. Pretty clean game so far. 3 fouls called on Schurz, just 1 on Lane Tech, so 4 combined team fouls. 10 minutes into tonight's contest, 10.5 minutes. Also a pretty quick game at the moment, as Perona gives it to Zanders. Zanders, Grunewald, Perona, Solibo, and Soar, your 5 on the court right now for Lane Tech. As Perona gets it outside the perimeter, drives in, goes for 2, he's got it. Second nice finish so far for Perona. He's up to 4 points, and Lane with their biggest lead of the game, 18-9, with 5 minutes and counting in the first half. Arroyo gets the pass, tries to go in for 2, he's got it. Nice finish there for Ethan Arroyo. And now Perona will push things for Lane Tech. 18-11 to score. Perona inside to Zanders. Zanders gets the 2 to go. Zanders has not been a big scorer for Lane Tech this year, but he has 5 in just about a minute. That might be the most he scored all year. We'll check real quick on that. As Abraham, who we saw make a 3, will push it out tonight, and they'll call a foul on, they'll call a travel on him, so Lane Tech gets the basketball back. A lot of travels. That's going to be the 2nd or 3rd already for Schurz tonight, as Malloy will check into the game for Joseph Perona after a strong couple of minutes for Perona. Yeah, so Zanders had 3 against Jones, 3 against Englewood Stem. I don't know if he scored more than 3 in a game yet this year. And well, now he has 5. So strong start there for him, as Malloy's going to get it, drive in, goes up for 2. He gets rejected by the rim for the 2nd time tonight. Seems like Malloy just taking a couple steps too more. He got called for 1 travel while going for the layup, and then he also rejected twice there by the rim, as the 3 no good. So Lebo will push things. So Lebo, nice pass to Grunewald. He goes up for the 2, can't get it. Soar with the putback, he's got it. Into the game for Schurz. Apologies, folks. That is going to be Alexander Lopez, number 32. 22-11 to score, 3:55 to go in quarter number 1 of play. Lane Tech has kind of strung their offense more together. Has not been a great defensive game for Lane Tech, but overall strong for Lane Tech here, as they take a double-digit lead for the first time today. Anthony Zanders with 5 points for Lane Tech. This is a mass timeout, by the way, not called by either team. Busy night around the conference. There is 4 games tonight. 1 got canceled because Farragut still under suspension from CPS. But other than that game, which was supposed to be Farragut hosting Young, it would be Westinghouse at Lincoln Park. That is a 6:30 p.m. tip-off, so that one started around the same time as our one. North Lawndale at Marshall, that was a 5 p.m. tip-off, or at Clark at 5 p.m., and then obviously Lane at Schurz. We'll try to get you any score updates from those if we can, or playing for the first time in a while. They only had 2 games so far this season, plus a forfeit win, so it'll be interesting to see how the Spartans are able to do. They looked strong in their first 2 games, especially from Lane Tech transfer Cam Lawn, who is leading the team in scoring right now. It'll be Knighton bringing the ball up the court for the Bulldogs. 3:50 to go in quarter number 2. Lane Tech hoping to build on a double-digit lead. Knighton gets it back from Abraham. Those two just go back and forth with the basketball. Cutting across the paint is Arroyo, but the Bulldogs decide not to give it to him. Knighton still holding the basketball, gets a screen to his right, loses the basketball. Xander's with it. Xanders will take it himself. Gives it to Malloy. Malloy to Solibo for the alley-oop. Just doesn't go in. That would have been a nice layup alley-oop, but ball doesn't roll the right way. They'll give it out to Grunenbaum. Grunenbaum for three. Can't get it. Rebounded by Tor. Tor goes up. He gets rejected. Malloy fighting for it. Lane Tech wants a fourth chance at it. Bell will come out with it, though, and that is hit away, and Lane Tech will get possession. They say it went off of Bell. Nice defensive effort there from the junior Jack Tor. Tor, a second-year varsity player, hasn't been a super big scorer for Lane Tech this year, but a utility guy. His presence on the court definitely felt by Lane Tech as Xanders pulls for three again. Can't get it. Rebounded by Bell. Knighton with the basketball, goes between his legs, passes it out. And Arroyo keeps it. Solibo, tight defense here. Lane Tech back in a man-to-man. Arroyo goes up for two, and the whistle was called, I believe, against Lane Tech. And it will be Schurz basketball. Arroyo shooting two. Ethan Arroyo, a junior small forward. Also kind of could be called a guard, but he's playing mostly in that forward position tonight. As checking into the game will be number 11, Shane Miller for Lopez here. And now they're going to call it. So this is the second time tonight that the refs made the players think it was a free throw, but instead it was just possession. Because Arroyo looked like he was ready to shoot two. And now Arroyo will miss the shot, and Lane Tech gets the basketball back. No damage done. Solibo going coast to coast. Nice shot at a layup there. Can't get it. And a travel called by Schurz just as they get the basketball. Lane Tech will get possession back. It'll be Tor inbounding it right under their scoring basket. 22-11 to score, 2:32 to go in the first half. Tor, quick inbound to Grunenbaum. Grunenbaum pulls for three, can't get it. Rebounded by Bell. Grunenbaum been an off and on free throw shooter as Tor gets it right back. Apologies, three-point shooter this year. Passing around the perimeter. Grunenbaum wide open. He's going to pull for three. Third straight try, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Arroyo. And Bulldogs get the basketball back. Get in the corner. Bell for three. No good. Rebounded. Tipped by Abraham, and he's going to come up with it. Nice play there by the junior. This one is going to be off of Lane Tech. And Abraham listed at 5'8", maybe a little bit taller than that, but not much. He just jumped up there, tipped it, and then jumped again to grab the rebound. Impressive stuff from him, and the Bulldogs will keep possession. Long inbound pass to Knighton. Knighton gives it inside to Bell. Bell being guarded by Basil. Big on big matchup. He goes up for two. Can't finish. Fighting for the rebound. Basil comes up with it. And Malloy puts things on the other end. Malloy, a fast break specialist. Spin move. Goes up for two. Can't get it. Would have been a nice finish there for the senior captain. On the other side of things, Arroyo goes up for two. Clean block there from Lane Tech. And now just a track meet. Two teams going back and forth with fast breaks. Solibo goes up for two. He gets it. 24-11 to score. Timeout called by Schurz with a minute 18 to go in quarter number two. After scoring drought for both the teams for a little bit, Lane Tech scores two quick. 24-11 to score. A minute 18 to go here. Biggest lead of the game for Lane. It's now up to 13. And Lane Tech, doesn't matter how much they win. Obviously, it would be nice for a big win, but if they can keep it at double digits here, it would be a nice victory for Lane Tech. Almost a halftime break here. Cheerleaders still cheering for Schurz there on the far side. Decent turnout here for Friday Night Hoops. Away game for Lane Tech. Got moved to a 6:30 tip-off. It was originally a 5 p.m. tip-off, so not a lot of great circumstances for fan turnout, but still a couple parents and students come out for tonight's game. But the home crowd not having the best start from their team. Schurz trails 24-11 with 78 seconds to go in the first half. Inbounding things for the Bulldogs is going to be Abraham, and Lane Tech will get back into this full court press. Looks like they're going to have 4 guys pressing maybe, Malloy and Grunewald near midcourt, and then Soar and Salibo. Usually what Lane Tech does is they try to double team, but does not work here as they get the ball across midcourt quickly. Knighton can't finish with it though, and Grunewald will hold. Grunewald gets it to Soar, now to Malloy. Malloy gives it to Salibo, he pulls for 3, no good. Sophomore can't get it, rebounded by Abraham, who pushes things quickly to the other side. 50 seconds to go in the first half. Arroyo gets the ball punched away. Abraham tries to save it right into the hands of Malloy. Malloy to Salibo. Salibo goes up for the layup, lays it in beautifully. Salibo has the last 2 baskets just like that with quick lay-ins. Soar pushes the turnover. Salibo gets it, goes up for 2, and he'll head to the line to shoot a pair. Salibo about to go possibly a 6-0 scoring run all by himself. 26-11. Lane Tech has the lead up to 15 with just over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Salibo, one of the leading scorers on this Lane Tech team, good for at least a few baskets every single night as Salibo makes the first free throw. 27-11 now the score. 5 team fouls on Schurz, only 1 on Lane Tech this half. Really impressive. They've definitely slowed down their fouling compared to some of their past games, including on Wednesday night. As Salibo goes 2 for 2 from the line, the lead now up to 17. Lane Tech starting to pull away in this one. Lane Tech definitely not a first quarter team. I would not call them that. Sometimes they're a second half team. Tonight they are a second quarter team. Long pass to Arroyo. We're going to get inside. The 2 is good from Jones. And Schurz responds with a quick 2 of their own. Salibo will bring the ball up the court. He's got the hot hand for Lane Tech. Looks like he might be trying for the final shot. No, they'll give it to Malloy. Basil pulls for 3 with 6 seconds, misses it. Rebounded by Soar. Soar has 2 seconds for a shot. Out to Salibo. Salibo did not see the clock. There's only 1 clock in this gymnasium, so where Salibo was, you could not really see how much time was left on the clock, and that's going to bring us to the end of one half of play. 28-13 the score. Lane Tech was a 3-point game at the end of the first quarter. They break it open in the second. It was as big of as a 17-point lead. At one point, a 15-point lead heading into the locker room. Obviously, second half comebacks can happen. Lane Tech came back down 13 in the second half on Wednesday against North Lawndale, but signs looking up for Lane Tech. We'll take a quick break and be back in a couple of minutes to recap the first half of action and get you ready for the final 16 minutes of play. Your halftime score here at Schurz, Lane Tech 28, Schurz 13. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. halftime score here at at Schurz Gymnasium, 28-13, a 15-point lead for Lane Tech. Lane Tech only led by 3 at the end of quarter number 1, but a big second quarter has Lane Tech up by 15. Welcome inside the gymnasium here at Schurz tonight. Game number 2 of Red Northwest Conference play. Alex Burstein on the call here for a fun night of some Friday night hoops. Only the second Friday night game for Lane Tech so far this year, I believe. It's been Shahid Salibo and AJ Zanders, the 2 leading scorers for Lane Tech. They've combined for 13 so far tonight. Quiet games from Ethan Grunebaum and Sean Malloy so far tonight after the big games on Wednesday night, but not exactly needed for Lane Tech in this type of game. Lane Tech will have a much harder test tomorrow against Oak Forest. That is a 12:30 p.m. tip-off out Mount Carmel in the Rose Shootout. It's a fun day of games. We're not going to have the broadcast for that one, but if you can make it out, there's plenty of good action going on. Yorkville Christian, Hyde Park, obviously Lane Tech's playing. A lot of great games for that one, but first, 16 more minutes for Lane Tech to go here tonight until they can turn their focus to that one. It was not a great first quarter for Lane Tech. They only put 9 points on the scoreboard, but then they explode for 19 in the second half, and it really helps Lane Tech with some momentum heading into this second half of play. Lane Tech back on the court, so we'll get you their warm-ups there on the far side of the court. Always fun, these Wednesday and Friday nights of conference action. We're now in the full swing of things, and then next week it'll be a little weird, and then winter break, and then in 3 weeks it'll be back to normal. So next week, Lane Tech only has 1 conference game. It's a pretty quiet week for Lane Tech. They play against Marshall at home on Wednesday, their annual ugly sweater night, but that is a 5 p.m. tip-off against Marshall. That should be a fun one. Marshall, I think, lost on Wednesday night. Yeah, Marshall 0-4 on the year, so Lane Tech has a chance to possibly start the year 3-0 in conference play, but you know Marshall will be thirsty for a win then, especially if they have not won since. And then Saturday, that's a fun one. We will have the call for next Saturday's game against St. Ignatius. That's a week from tomorrow. St. Ignatius has had a rough start to the year. They were very highly ranked, highly regarded heading into the year. They've had some losses. They had a pretty notable loss to Leo last Friday, a week ago from today, but they get the victory, and it looks like our video stream might be acting up a little bit again, folks, so we'll try to get that going. Well, no, it looks like we're still going good, but yeah, as we were saying, they play St. Ignatius next week, then they have a week or so off before they compete in the Maine East Holiday Tournament. That's a change. They were originally scheduled to play in the Proviso West Holiday Tournament, but now they will be playing at Maine East, a tournament they were in 2 years ago, and they won it a couple years ago, so that should be a fun one. They start play against McHenry, and I believe that is on the 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check. Yes, they play against McHenry on the 27th, and I think that's 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th is the 4 games for Lane Tech in that holiday tournament. Just under 90 seconds to go here in a halftime before we'll get set with the final 16 minutes of play. Lane Tech hoping to get to 8-1 on the year, their hottest start in quite some while. We saw the Schurz cheerleaders take the court a couple of minutes ago, and Lane Tech's starting 5 is going to head out to the court. Both starting 5s is going to head out to the court with a minute left on the clock. I think they might get this going actually early. That is not something you see often in high school. It's a later tip on a Friday night, so maybe they're just trying to get the speed of everything going, but it'll be the same starting 5 for Lane Tech and the same starting 5 for Schurz. That's what we've basically seen from all teams this year, just going with the same starting 5 no matter who plays in the first half of things. But so it'll be Malloy, Grunebaum, Basil, Salibo, and Soar for Lane Tech, and it will be Jones, Knighton, but Bell, Abraham, and Arroyo, your 5 on the court for Schurz. And we're underway here in the second half of play. Schurz gets the ball to start things off. Knighton, who scored, and who had the ball more than maybe any other player in the game, definitely more than any other Schurz player, passes it off to Abraham for the first play here in the second half. Knighton gets the basketball back, being guarded by Malloy. Malloy's kept him pretty quiet offensively tonight as Arroyo gets stripped by Salibo. Salibo will push things on the other side. Salibo had 4 fast break layups, make it 3. He had 4 fast break points, I should say, in the first half. And Salibo hits double digits, 10 points on the night now for him. And Lane Tech has their lead back up to 17, 30-13 the score, under 7.5 to play in the third. Grunewald, tight defense. Looks like Grunewald now covering Knighton. Lane Tech switches up their man-to-man assignments pretty frequently during a couple of plays even, as Bell misses the 2, rebounded by Basil. So Lebo will bring the ball up the court for Lane Tech. Looks like Lane really trusting him with the ball in his hands as Soar pulls for 3. He's got it. Jack Soar has Lane's lead up to 20 points. Offense really getting going here in the third. Under 7 now to go. Abraham being guarded by Malloy. Drives right-hand side, goes up in a block by Malloy. That's going to be the 3rd straight game he has registered a block. Had 1 against North Lawndale on Wednesday, 2 last Friday against Taft. Oh, excuse me, I don't know if he had 1 against Steinmetz, but at least 3 of the last 4 games he's had 1. Forgot about Monday's game, but Malloy really aggressive on defense this year in a good way for this Lane Tech team. As they'll try to inbound it, gets to Abraham. Out. Bell pulls for 3, airballs it, and that will not be touched by anyone. Lane Tech gets the basketball back. Basil almost got a hand on it, but they'll say that didn't happen, and Soar will inbound things for Lane Tech. Grunbaum bringing the ball up the court. After Salibo brought things up the first couple of trips, they'll have Grunbaum bring it this time as Salibo pulls for the long 2. It's money. Zahid Salibo can't miss. 12 points for him. A timeout called by, a full timeout called by Schurz. Just a minute and a half into the third quarter. The clock's still running. I thought it was under 6.5 minutes. Maybe they're running it to a different time. We've had some clock problems tonight, both the JV game and the varsity game. But Lane Tech now 36-13 the lead. They're up to a 23-point win. Lead. I thought it was 20. I don't think that was a 3 by Salibo, but Salibo with a hot hand. He is either 12 or 13 tonight. He leads all scores. 6:32 will be the time they put back on the clock. So Lane Tech's gotten these baskets quick. Already scored a few, just a minute and 28 into quarter number 3. Thanks for joining us, Alex Burstein, on the call here from Schurz Gymnasium. And both teams will break their huddle with their same 5. Royo, Jones, Bell, Knighton, and Abraham for Schurz, and Salibo, Grunewald, Basil, Malloy, and Soar for Lane Tech. So no subs yet this half. As Knighton tries to go coast to coast, they'll call a foul on Grunewald, his second of the night, and Knighton will head to the line to shoot a pair. Sean Knighton had a strong night, hasn't scored much, but he's going to shoot 2 free throws and try to add to his scoring total tonight. Almost looked like Schurz wasn't putting anyone in the paint. Lane Tech is only going to put 3 guys in the paint. Looks like they're comfortable with Basil and Soar and Salibo doing the rebounding. They're going to leave their backcourt of Grunewald and Malloy out near the perimeter, as the first free throw is good. Knighton gets Schurz on the scoreboard for the first time this second half. 36-14, 22-point lead for Lane Tech with 6:26 to go in the third. Second free throw, no good as well. Rebounded by Soar, who will hold things and now take it himself. Soar driving on Bell. He goes up and he'll get fouled and will head to, oh, they're going to call a jump ball. Soar thought he got fouled. It looked like it was the foul from over here, but possession arrow will point towards Lane Tech, and Lane Tech will keep possession. Soar will inbound things. Salibo and Grunewald here on the left side. They're going to get, oh, Salibo wide open. He's going to fake the 3, now drive in, now out to Malloy. Just no one kept an eye on Salibo there, and Malloy with the nice finish. He scores for the first time this half, and Lane Tech's lead back up to 24. Rolling clock in the third quarter if the lead gets up to 30. And they're going to say the ball tipped by Lane Tech. Schurz will get the ball back, as checking into the game will be number 5, Malik Allen for Schurz. Jones will exit the game. Jones had 16 last year against Lane Tech. Not affected. Schurz doesn't even have 16 yet so far tonight, so not able to do as well this game so far against Lane. both these teams look a lot different, especially Lane Tech with all their graduating seniors from last year. As Abraham tries for the nice finish, can't get it to go. And Salibo seems to be the name we're calling most. He has the rebound and will take it on the far side of things. Grunenbaum, lightning pass to Malloy. Now Zor for three. He's got it. Jack Zor with three, and everyone's scoring now for Lane Tech. 41-14 the score. Lead up to 27 for Lane Tech. Knighton will slow things down. Remember, it was a 3-point game after 8 minutes of play as Salibo will drive, go up for two. He's got it. Salibo can't miss tonight. Lane Tech seems like they can't miss, and the lead now up to 29. Knighton pulls for two. He's got it. Schurz trying to quiet this Lane Tech momentum. 43-16 the score. 5 minutes and counting to go in quarter number 3. As we said, not a super competitive game we were expecting heading into this one, and Lane Tech proving that right here with a strong third quarter. Basil with it. He's going to drive on the right-hand side, give it out to Salibo with the hot hand. He's got it! Shahid Salibo, have yourself a night. 46-16, lead up to 30 for Lane Tech. And Knighton will hold the ball for Schurz. Miller will check into the game soon for the Bulldogs. They say that goes off of Schurz, and Rosenkrantz and Gunin will check into the game for Zor and Grunenbaum. 30-point lead for Lane. If it stays at this, it will be a running clock for the fourth quarter. It was a running clock in the JV game. And Gunin gets in for the first time since I think the first quarter. Grunenbaum out to Malloy. Malloy pulls for three. He's got it! Everyone scoring for Lane Tech. The lead now up to 33. Knighton with the basketball. Floor general hands it off. Now Abraham driving right-hand side. Nice finish for the Bulldog. And Schurz gets deficit back down to 31. Full court press here from Schurz. Lane Tech able to break it pretty easily. Looks like their full court press, how they broke it, was more planned than Schurz. They didn't even have to do that much. As they pass it down, Gunin can't handle it. And Abraham will bring things up for the Bulldogs, trying to get past Malloy. He'll get it out here to Allen. Allen gets stripped by Malloy. This went from right behind his back. Now the long pass to Gunin. Gunin not able to finish. They're going to call a foul, though. And I think Gunin will head to the line to shoot a pair. 49-18 now to score. 3:33 to go in quarter number 3. A pretty quick game. Just under 45 minutes into this one. As Gunin, I believe, looking to score for the first time tonight. He's got the first one, and Lane hits the 50-point mark. A.J. Zanders, Parker Springer, and Joseph Pronin will check into the game. Basil, Grunenbaum, and Malloy check out. So Lane Tech putting in their second 5 right now. Not playing in the bench just yet, however. Now with a 32-point lead, we'll see how long Lane Tech keeps their top guys in. And that's going to be a mass timeout. So Gunin goes 2 for 2 from the line. 51-18 now the score. 3:33 to go in period number 3. I thought it was more than this, but the scoreboard just showing 1 foul for each team. So pretty quick quarter, but Lane Tech scoring almost every time down the court. Malloy hit threes. Salibo just playing excellent for this Lane Tech team, and they're not even subbing it out. They're going to see how far he can go. I think he might be up to 17, 18. I lost count there after 12, but it's probably a career high for him. His career high was 14, so yeah, Salibo definitely over that career high mark now against Schurz, and he's just a sophomore. He's the future of this Lane Tech team, so has 2 more years with this varsity team, and now he is going to be out of the game. It'll be Springer, Zanders, Corona, Rosenkrantz, and Gunin, so none of the starters in for Lane Tech. Number 6 through 10, the first 5 guys off the bench for Lane will come in. It'll be Schurz basketball out of the mass timeout. Inbounding it will be Abraham to Knighton. Those top two guys on this Schurz team. They've impressed tonight, but just not enough on the scoreboard for them to compete with this Lane Tech team. Long pass, they get to Abraham. Abraham swings it around. Knighton with it, being guarded by Perona. Perona back in the corner, bad pass. And Miller unable to handle it. Lane Tech will get the basketball back. Even when Lane Tech has had big games this year, they have not slowed down their pace. They play fast all game, all 32 minutes. As Perona gets it to Rosenkrantz. Lane trying to break this full court press, they can't. Sanders, who has 5, pulls for the 2, can't get it. And that will be rebounded by Abraham. He has Allen right in front of him, doesn't pass it, instead goes coast to coast, can't finish. Rebounded by Allen though. And he'll pass it out to Miller, who pulls for 3, he's got it. Schurz has not taken a lot of threes today, so they obviously have not made a lot. But they get one there from Allen, and the lead now at 30 for Lane Tech, 51-21. Almost a turnover here. Goonan will keep it for Lane, though. Goonan takes himself. Nice fake pass. Then he does pass it to Zanders, who can't finish, and that one will be rebounded by Allen. Allen playing very well for Schurz right now. The long pass to Bell, and Bell able to finish. Schurz gets the deficit within 30, now a 28-point game with 2:20 to go in quarter number 3. Perona breaks the press all by himself. Nice pass there to Zanders, who gets the finish. Joseph Perona there. A little flea flicker pass, and the lead back up to 30. Bell with it, fakes the pass, tries to drive in. Rosenkrantz will poke it and steal it. Rosenkrantz with his left hand goes. Tries for the layup, can't get it. The ball is going to go off of Schurz though, so Lane Tech will keep possession. 53-23, 1:59 to go in the third quarter of action. It'll be Goonan inbounding it as Arroyo checks into the game for Allen there after quite a couple of minutes there for him. As Rosenkrantz pulls for 3 and he gets the bounce. 56-23 now the score. Lane Tech staying in this 30-point lead range for the last couple of minutes. Long 2 from Knighton is good. Knighton has a really nice jump shot. As a junior, he's going to be really good next year as a senior. But still a 33-point deficit as Rosenkrantz can't finish. Springer gets blocked but gets his own rebound. He's going to get jumped on. Springer does that a lot. He's gotten a couple of fouls like that this year. Gotten fouled like that a couple times this year. Just kind of fakes the shot, and then someone jumps on him and gets the foul called. Second foul called this half on Schurz. Lane Tech still just has 1 foul called on them this half. They'll get to Rosenkrantz with the hot hand. He's got it. Will Rosenkrantz with 2 quick threes, and the lead up to 34 for Lane Tech. Perona pokes a steal. He's going to take it on the other end of things. Rosenkrantz will finish. He's got 5 points in about 15 seconds. 61-25 now the score. Lane Tech taking complete control of this game. The 2 no good from Abraham. Goonan will get the rebound, and he's going to almost take it himself. Now give it off to Perona. Goonan playing in a 4 position for Lane Tech right now. Perona tries to take it coast to coast. He's got it. Nice finish there for the second-year varsity guy. And timeout called by Schurz. What a sequence of events there by Lane Tech. They now lead 63-25. They're really getting their scoring going. A 5 plus 13, trying to do some quick math here. 38-point lead for Lane Tech. And this one might just be about wrapped here. Obviously still the 4th quarter to play, but it's going to be a running clock, and Lane Tech does not seem like their offense going to be slowing down anytime soon. We'll see when Lane Tech starts to put their bench in. Schurz is a small team in the roster I was given. They just had 12 guys, so almost all their guys have played as well. I think I see maybe 2 guys with their warm-up shirts on, but most of Schurz has played. Lane Tech still has 5 guys who have not gotten minutes tonight. But it will be the same 5 who break the huddle for Lane Tech. Rosenkrantz with the hot hand. Goonan, Springer, Perona, and Zanders. And for Schurz, it'll be Miller, Bell, Abraham, Knighton, and Arroyo. Knighton and Abraham have barely gotten a rest all night. They might have been subbed out once or maybe twice, but they've played almost the whole 24 minutes that have been played thus far. Knighton looks like Schurz is going to hold for a final shot. 30 seconds. Out. The 3 from Miller, no good. Perona trying to get it, and Lane Tech now will have a chance for a final shot, unless Perona just goes for it quickly here. Looks like he is. Goes for the strange two. Tries to get his own rebound. He can't. Miller pushes it away, and Abraham comes up with it. The three. No good. That one airballed by Knight, and Lane Tech will get the basketball with 8.2 seconds left. 63-25 to score. 38-point lead for Lane Tech. They're trying to have one more shot this third quarter. Perona gets it to Rosenkrantz. Rosenkrantz to Springer. Springer with 3 seconds. He drains it. Parker Springer, I think that's the first three he's made all season. And that is going to be a 41-point lead for Lane Tech heading into quarter number 4. We're going to take a quick break and be back for the final 8 minutes of play. It looks like Lane Tech playing their bench in. 66-25 they lead. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. 8 minutes to play. Omar Bushalumfa, Giuliano DiFranco, Carson Spencer, and Hayden Matthews will check into the game for Lane Tech. Stephen Goonan, the lone guy, staying in for Lane. 65-25. I guess they changed it to a 2 for one of those last shots, but still a 40-point lead for Lane Tech heading into this final 8 minutes of play. Looks like the same 5 on the court for Schurz. So that means that Knighton will bring things up for the Bulldogs, who are just trying to get some last-minute points here, try to take the deficit out a little bit. I think it's going to be a running clock here with the big lead as Bell gets the basketball. Bell being guarded by Zanders. He holds it, and over to Abraham, and I think 3 seconds in the paint is going to be called on Knighton, who is just kind of staying there in the paint, and Goonan will inbound it to Matthews. These 4 of these 5 played the fourth quarter against Steinmetz. There's a turnover here. Miller with it. He loses the basketball, goes up for 2, misses it again, and they still go off of Lane Tech. But Bushalumfa, DiFranco, Matthews, and Edwards, those 4 played almost the whole fourth quarter against Steinmetz on Monday and looked pretty good. There's one guy missing who usually plays, and Lorenzo Aquino is not into the game right now. He might be out for tonight's contest, not sure. As Bell gets it to Knighton, but so far 14 of the 15 guys who traveled with Lane have gotten into it. 65-25 to score, 7:15 left on the clock. Nice move to Bell, but can't finish. Goonan will give it to Edwards, and Edwards will take the ball up the court. Nice defense here from Abraham. Edwards gets trapped. They'll get to a Bushalumfa. He drives on Miller, passes out to DiFranco, and a charge is going to be called on the Bushalumfa. And Schurz gets the basketball back quickly with no damage done. 40-point lead, 2 fouls now called on each team. As checking into the game is going to be Lopez and Jones for Schurz, as Knighton comes off after a long stint of playing, and also checking out of the game will be Miller. So I assume Abraham will be the main point guard. No, they're going to have Arroyo listed as a small forward to bring the ball up the court. Arroyo hands it off to Abraham. Abraham going up the middle. Hop step, gives it to Bell. Bell goes up for 2. He's got it wide open there near the basket. And now 65-27 to score, 6:40. Edwards running the point now. Spencer running the point right now for Lane Tech. He loses the basketball, but keeps it. Now DiFranco pulls for 3. Airballs that one. Chasing for the rebound is Matthews, and they're going to say it went off of Lane Tech. DiFranco next year, if he's assuming he's on varsity, he's a junior right now. Everyone but Goonan and Matthews on the court right now for Lane Tech is a junior. But next year, DiFranco is likely going to be playing in the 5 position, as he's currently the tallest junior. As Goonin's going to pull for three, misses that one off the far side of the rim. And Abraham will push things now. Spin move goes up for two. And I think a travel is going to be called. Lane Tech will get basketball back after that. Looks like they're not doing a running clock here for the fourth quarter, despite the big Lane Tech lead. I think they're supposed to be, but clock stopping with the ball out of bounds. Knight is going to come back into the game momentarily. He was just out for like 30 seconds as Matthews pulls for three, can't get it. Rebounded by DeFranco. DeFranco loses it. Bushalumfa with it. He goes up for two. Through contact, misses it, but DeFranco has the put back. And now 67-27, the lead back up to three. There's going to be three subs into the game soon, including Joshua Kincaid, who we've not seen yet. As the three, no good by Jones. Coming in for the two, Abraham can't get it. And Lane Tech gets the basketball back. Quick press here from Jones, but Spencer able to pass him up. Tries to go for the two from just in front of the free throw line. Can't get it. And Bell grabs the rebound. So as we were saying, three subs into the game soon for Schurz. Lopez with the basketball being guarded by Goonin. They'll give it to Arroyo. Schurz with four of their guys around the perimeter. Jones here inside the paint. 40-point Lane Tech lead, just over 5 to play in this one. Arroyo with the basketball being guarded by Goonin. They give it inside to Bell. They have not done this a lot, but Bell able to finish and the end one. It seems like they should have been doing that all night. Bell, from what we've seen, he has pretty good inside footwork, and he's a pretty big guy, as Xander is going to check in for Goonin. And checking in for Schurz is going to be Allen, Knighton, and then who was the one guy we said? Oh, and coming in a second is going to be number 24, Joshua Kincaid, but he comes in after. He must be coming in for Bell after this free throw. 67-29 the score. And Bell going to make the second one. Excuse me, he makes a and one. Goes 1 for 1 from the line. And they're saying the sub can come in, but he doesn't, so Bell will stay into the game, I guess. On the other side of things, Xanders gets it stripped from him. Schurz pushes it to Arroyo. Bushalumfa almost gets the tip, but Arroyo able to finish. And a quick couple of shots made here by Schurz. Ref blowed their whistle, not sure why. Checking, no one checks into the game, so I guess the refs just blew their whistle. Now Schurz has the basketball. Bell pulls for two, misses it, rebounded by Matthews, who'll push things. Gives it to a Bushalumfa. Too long of a pass, but he is able to reel it in. Out to Matthews. That one taken. A couple of turnovers here by Schurz. They're playing a lot better than they did in the second and third quarter. Arroyo tries to finish, and they're going to call a foul, I think. Rest with some confusing whistles here in the fourth quarter. Apologies, folks. Ref goes to the table, and foul got called on Schurz, so Lane Tech's going to get the basketball back. Looks like they might be calling it on both teams. I'm not sure. They're talking things over with head coach Nicholas Legalbo of Lane Tech right now. And it is going to be Lane Tech basketball. No, it's going to be Schurz basketball. So fouls were called on both teams. I'm not sure for what, but Schurz will get the basketball after the fouls cancel out. It'll be Knighton inbounding things for the Bulldogs. Kincaid gets his first touches of the night. Also into, just Kincaid in right now for the Bulldogs. Almost everyone played now for Schurz, with the exception of number 12, Harris Cortez, as Arroyo slows things down. No rush for Schurz as they go up for two. Can't finish. DeFranco reels in the rebound, and the Bushalumfa gives it to Matthews, who will bring things up the court for Lane Tech. 67-32 now the score. 4 minutes left. We'll have a mass timeout momentarily, and Cortez will check in momentarily too for Schurz. As Matthews pulls for three, can't get it. DeFranco has the putback though. And it seems whenever Schurz, Lane Tech quick to have a response. Whenever Schurz scores, I should say, Lane Tech quick to have a response. Bell fakes a three, drives in, spin move, goes up for two. Wow, nice move to the basket there from Monier Bell. A two-sport athlete has been impressive the past couple of minutes. DeFranco gives it to Bushalumfa. He pulls for three. Bang! The first points of the season for Omar Bushalumfa. And now all 15 guys who have traveled to games this year have scored for Lane Tech. And the lead now 72-34 with 3:20 to go in the game. Arroyo driving from the left-hand side, gets it out. Now Knighton, he goes up for two, and he's able to finish 72-36. Lane Tech has doubled Schur's score. Matthews to a Bushalumfa. He drives the baseline on Bell, takes a stop, and he's going to get fouled. I believe that'll be called on Bell. We'll see if the refs call the mass timeout here, and looks like they will. Both teams will head to their benches, and I believe Cortez will come into the game out of the timeouts for Schurz. Harris Cortez, a 5'9" junior, and now everyone has played. I have one guy on my roster, number 23, Isaiah Pagan for Schurz, but I don't see him dressed tonight, so I think everyone that Schurz has dressed, yeah, it looks like only 11 guys, has played tonight. Lane Tech gets some scoring contributions from the end of their bench. Their lead up to 36 with 2:55 to go in this contest. Lane Tech actually doing better than Lincoln Park did against Schurz. The final of that game was 77-58, so Lane Tech's going to likely win by more than that, and they're going to keep Schurz way under 58 points. Lincoln Park, they haven't had a super difficult schedule so far, but they're undefeated, so it's kind of hard to judge how the Lions are going to be this year. Now that conference is starting, it's going to be a lot easier to read how this Lincoln Park team is going to be this year. Tonight they are playing against Westinghouse. They're hosting Westinghouse. That game started at 6:30, but no score updates from that one yet. Looks like our stream might be lagging a little bit as Matthews pulls for three. He's got it. Hayden Matthews, who's been a strong three-point shooter for Lane Tech all year, makes a basket, and the lead now 75-36. Jones with it. Kincaid back to Jones. Oh, also into the game, number 35, who we don't have on our roster. I'm assuming that's Isaiah Pagan. Looks to be about 6'1". That's the guy who we have on our roster. So mystery number 35 into the game for Schurz as Spencer pokes a steal, gets ahead of the Schurz defenders, tries to finish, can't get it. And Kincaid will bring things up for Schurz. Now Spencer with another steal. This time he'll pass it off to DeFranco, who's able to finish. Nice sequence there for Lane Tech. And the lead now back up to above 40, 77-36 with under 2 to play. Arroyo with the basketball, drives right-hand side, gets past DeFranco, but DeFranco blocks him from behind. Xanders sends a Bushalumfa, who's going to go up and get blocked. No foul called, and Jones will end up with the rebound. Lopez going to come back into the game, it looks like, for Schurz. Arroyo holding things. 90 seconds now to play in this one. Arroyo being guarded by DeFranco. Some weird matchups here, size-wise, for Lane Tech, as Jones unable to finish. He had the size advantage there over Spencer, but unable to finish it, and Spencer will get it with the pass off of Matthews. It looks like Lane Tech just going to burn a couple seconds here. Matthews in the corner to Xanders, as DeFranco pulls for three, wide to the right. He's airballed 2 of those threes tonight. And checking into game will be Lopez. He comes in for Jones. And it will be Schurz basketball. I think they thought there was a timeout. No timeout, just a substitution. It looks like Arroyo actually coming to the bench. Jones was just walking over there. So Jones going to stay into the game. Arroyo checks out. And Jones gets it back to Lopez. Xanders on defense here. Under 50 now to play in the contest. Again, inside that one going to go off of Lane Tech. That's who we assume is Pagan driving, number 35, and he will inbound things for the Bulldogs. Spencer guarding the inbound, getting high off that jump. This Lane Tech team, juniors next year, who are going to be likely the starting guys or straight off the bench, they have a nice little size they have a bunch of different sizes of players, which is going to be helpful for them this year. This year, it just seems like it's almost everyone's a 6'1" or 6'2" guard as Xanders pushes the steal, and oh, that would have been a monster dunk. Unable to finish, though. Xanders ends up with it again. That one rebounded by Matthews. Lopez gets it back. The long pass to Jones. Jones unable to finish. They're trying to get everyone on the scoreboard, I think, but unable to score is Pagan. And now looks like Lane Tech's just going to dribble out the end of this one. 13 seconds and counting. Spencer trying to cross midcourt. Got to be careful to cross the midcourt line. Ref was counting there. And now the clock will come to a close. 3, 2, 1. And Lane Tech advances to 8-1 on the year. An amazing start to the season for Lane Tech. 77-36, your final here tonight. Pretty dominating 41-point win for Lane Tech. They struggled out of the gate, but ever since then, they just scored and kept Schurz from scoring a lot, 36 points. One of the lowest scoring opponents for Lane Tech this year, and just an all-around win as they get to 2-0 in conference play. Schurz, meanwhile, drops to 0-2 in conference play, 1-6 overall. They will try to get back on course next Wednesday at Westinghouse at 5 p.m. Lane Tech, quick turnaround. They play, 17 hours or so at Mount Carmel versus Oak Forest in the Rose Shootout. That is a 12:30 p.m. tip. No broadcast for that one. Apologies, folks. Have some standardized testing to do for me, so no broadcast there, but we'll be back on the air next Wednesday for a 5 p.m. tip-off versus Marshall at home. That's just about going to do our coverage for tonight. A big win for Lane Tech. They get to 8-1 on the year, 2-0 in conference play. Your final score here from Schurz Gymnasium. Lane Tech 77, Schurz 36. My name's Alex Burstein. Good night.